Good morning. Welcome to another One Mind meditation. This week, the wisdom that leads us into every meditation comes from a little book called the Tao of Pooh. As you might already know, it's a retelling of the story of Winnie the Pooh, but with the teachings of Lao Tzu, because the characters in Winnie the Pooh already match the teachings of Lao Tzu so well. Sunmari, good morning. Grania, good morning. Hello. Very good to see you. Stefan, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the middle of the week. I'll get right into it because I've packed quite a lot into today's message. So let me get started. There's a picture of Winnie the Pooh and Piglet walking together. And it starts like this. When you wake up in the morning, Pooh, said Piglet at last, what is the first thing you say to yourself? What's for breakfast, said Pooh. What do you say, Piglet? I say, I wonder what's going to happen exciting today, said Piglet. Pooh nodded thoughtfully. It's the same thing, he said. Good morning, Karabo. Good morning, Charlene. Good morning. Who am I missing out here on? Pat, I think I saw Pat pop in. Good morning, Danae. Awesome having you all here. Also from the Tao of Pooh, you can't save time, you can only spend it. But you can spend it wisely or you can spend it foolishly. Good morning, Colette. Good to see you. Hello. Pooh Bear's reminder for us today is that in every moment we are spending the precious resource called time. We mostly spend it unconsciously, not weighing up whether we're spending it wisely or wasting it away. So for today's meditation, I want to draw your attention to being present by looking at being present in two ways. There's being present now and there's being present over time. Being present in this moment requires me to let go of my idea of what this moment should have been. Subconsciously, we always form an expectation of what we'd like a moment to be. This is not wrong, of course, it's just what a brain does, but if I don't catch myself, I'll end up spending all my energy on an idea that has followed me from the past, leaving me without energy to deal effectively with the present. The Tao of Pooh says, things just happen in the right way at the right time, at least when you let them. When you work with circumstances, instead of saying, this isn't supposed to be happening this way, and trying harder to make it happen some other way. Remind yourself to ask yourself, in as many present moments as you can remember to do this, what does this moment require of me? What does this moment ask me to step up and do? What does this moment make available to me? That is being present in this moment. But it's worth looking at being present over time as well. I'm looking over the span of my lifetime so far and I'm asking myself, what do I spend most of my time doing? We are always chasing goals and goals are not bad, but we have to realize that our goals are what dictates how we spend our time. And by the end of our lives, we'll have a small collection of goals reached, but we will have spent an inordinate amount of time in the process of chasing those goals. This process shapes us. Who are you becoming in your process? How we spend our time is who we become. And at the end of our lives, we will have become the sum total of the processes that we were involved in. The next thought from the Tao of Pooh says, the Christmas presents once opened are not so much fun as they were while we were in the process of examining, lifting, shaking, and thinking about them. 365 days later, we try again and we find that the same thing has happened. Each time the goal is reached, it becomes not so much fun. And we're off to reach the next one, then the next one, then the next one. That doesn't mean that the goals we have don't count. They do, mostly because they cause us to go through the process. And it is the process that makes us wise or happy or whatever. If we do things in the wrong sort of way, it makes us miserable, angry, confused, and things like that. The goal has to be right for us, and it has to be beneficial in order to ensure a beneficial process. But aside from that, it's really the process that's important. Honey doesn't taste so good once it's been eaten. The goal doesn't mean so much once it is reached. The reward is not so rewarding once it has been given. If we add up all the rewards in our lives, we don't have very much. But if we add up the spaces between the rewards, we'll come up with quite a bit. And if we add up the rewards and the spaces, then we'll have everything, every minute of the time that we have spent. In today's meditation, we are looking at the processes we are involved in and asking, am I present in this process or am I on autopilot? What kind of a person is this process creating? Am I growing or am I breaking? If I don't reach my goals in the way I thought I would, will I be happy with who this process made me? That is our meditation for today. So if you're ready, let's get right in there. You can close your eyes and we'll start with the first few big breaths. Let's take a deep breath in and out. A deep breath in and out. A deep inhale and let it go. Deep breath in and out. One more big breath in and let it all flow away. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn all the way deep down into your belly. And as you fill up your belly with air, feel yourself grow from that space. Feel yourself expand from your core outwards in all directions. And once you have a belly full of air, slowly, slowly let all of it go. As you exhale, soften. As you breathe out, soften your spine, slump down your shoulders, and drop your head. pay particular attention to the rise and the fall of your body. As you inhale, really feel into the rise. As you exhale, really feel into the fall. Breath likely is the most effective tool for helping us be present, because I can only breathe right here, right now, in this moment. I can't take a breath now, tomorrow, and I can't take a breath now, yesterday. A breath now is only ever a breath in the present moment. So as you exhale and feel into the fall of your body, imagine that off of your shoulders there slides a cloak, all the baggage that you have been carrying. And with your exhale, it slides off your shoulders, all of the baggage of the last few days, pooling at your feet like a cloak that you can step out of and see what you've just put down. With every exhale, as you soften, you are becoming less past and more present. Can you feel that? Sometimes it helps if, when you inhale and your body rises, if from the top of the rise, as you exhale, you fall into your body just a little bit harder. Drop into your body just a little bit harder. With every exhale, you are becoming less future anxiety and more now. Can you feel it? We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, helping our bodies stretch and adjust and settle down into as much comfort as possible for the rest of our journey. Let's take a deep breath in. As you release, drop your head all the way forward and roll out your neck muscles forward and to the left, and also forward and to the right. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders forward in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders backwards in big circles, nice and slow. Take a deep breath in. As you release, focus on your spine. You can lean your upper body over to the left. Lean your upper body over to the right. Feel yourself leaning into your back muscles. Find the edges of those muscles and gently lean into those edges. One more big breath in. And as you release, you can stretch or move or adjust any part of your body that still needs a bit of help settling down. Having softened our bodies into a state of presence, or at least as much as we are able to, we can now turn our attention inwards and dive deep inside for the next part of our journey. With every next inhale, we'll hold our breath for a few short moments, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. If you don't have the time to sit for the whole meditation with us, then this is always a good place to stop. But if you are here for the whole journey, then we'll take the next few big breaths together. Let's take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel into your body. Feel how softness slips in and settles in every part of your body. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, follow the downwards flow through your body. Feel your shoulders slowly falling. Feel your body slowly softening. Feel how you are slowly slipping deeper into you. One more big breath in and hold. As you release, feel yourself melting. Feel your whole body dissolving. Feel how you are slipping into a deeper level of surrender with every slow exhale. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose is an invitation. It invites you to turn inwards and follow this journey. As you breathe in, feel the air flow in through your nostrils. Feel the air touch the back of your throat. Stay with your breath as it flows in through your lungs. And as you fill up the balloon inside your belly, feel yourself slip all the way in. Hold your breath. But hold it only for as long as it feels easy, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, what does being present mean to you? If you had to describe it, if someone asked you, what does being present mean? How would you describe it? Take your next big breath. To add some more context to it, being present means, just as our breath teaches us, means being right here, right now, where this breath is being taken. Not being anywhere else, not wishing or trying to be in a different place and time. How do you generally do at that? How well are you able to keep returning yourself to this present moment, the moment in which the breath is happening? Take your next big breath. What is your relationship with goals? Perhaps the answer is instantly clear, but very often it's not. what might be helpful is to ask yourself the question, as you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, ask yourself, see if an answer comes. What is my relationship to goals? Take your next big breath. Goals can be really good for us. They can be something that gives us direction. So when we're uncertain in which direction to take a step, we have some clarity. But goals are often also something in the distant future. Something we're reaching for that's not here in this present moment. And in that way, goals can often be the cause of our not being present. Is that a trap you sometimes fall into? Are goals perhaps sometimes a thing that pull you out of the present moment into something in the distant future, while you're disconnected from right here and right now? Take your next big breath. This morning's piece from the Tao of Pooh spoke about the processes that we get involved in the pursuit of goals. And even if we reach the goal, which we sometimes don't, the actual goal is a very small part of the process. It is the process that we dedicate a significant portion of our time to. And the process always shapes who we are. I want you to cast backwards in time for a moment. It's a little bit funny in a present meditation, right? But let's go to the past for a moment. Remind yourself of some of the processes that you have become involved in the past and how it shaped you. And maybe it's difficult to figure it out. What process did I become involved in? Studying for anything, a degree, is a process, and it shapes who you are. Childhood is a process, and it shapes who you are. Entering into relationships is a process that shapes who we are. Becoming a parent is a process that shapes who we are. So choose any one of those or something else And as you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, remind yourself of how that process shaped you. Take your next big breath. When we look back at past processes, it's very clear to see how we get shaped by the process we're involved in. Which brings us back to the present and the realization that it's worth investigating the processes that I'm involved in right now. Because whatever process I'm involved in right now towards whatever goal, this is shaping me, and it's worth paying attention to this. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, are you present through the process you're involved in right now? Or are you on some kind of autopilot, going through the motions, eyes set on some hopeful goal in the distant future, but completely disconnected to right now? In your current process, are you present or on autopilot? Take your next big breath. When I take a look at the current process that I'm in, how does this feel? Does it feel like I'm growing through this process? Or does it feel like I'm breaking through this process? And is it a case of changing my perspective on the process, telling myself a more empowering story about my process? Or do I need to change this process? In the current process I find myself in, do I feel like I'm growing or do I feel like I'm breaking? Take your next big breath. At the end of this process, there is some kind of a goal, perhaps a clear one or not, and we might reach that goal or perhaps not even. So I have to ask myself the question, by the end of this process, whether I have reached my goal or not actually reached it. Am I happy with the person this process made me? Will I be happy with the person that I have become through this process? Take your next big breath. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, slipping out of the breath holding space and into the next. Let's take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a long, slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel how softness slips in and settles in every cell of your body. One more big breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself slip all the way through. There is no more attention on your breathing. You can sit all the way back or even lie all the way back down and feel yourself just floating. I'll read you just a little bit again out of the Tao of Pooh. A conversation between Pooh and Piglet goes like this. When you wake up in the morning, Pooh, says Piglet, what is the first thing you say to yourself? What is for breakfast, says Pooh. What do you say, Piglet? I say I wonder what's going to happen exciting today, says Piglet. Pooh nodded thoughtfully. It's the same thing, he said. You can't save time, says Pooh. You can only spend it. But you can spend it wisely or you can spend it foolishly. Things just happen in the right way at the right time. At least when you let them. When you work with circumstances instead of saying, this is not supposed to be happening this way, and then trying harder to make it happen some other way. We are always chasing goals, and goals are not bad in and of themselves. But we have to realize that our goals are what dictates how we spend our time from moment to moment. And by the end of our lives, we'll have a small collection of goals reached. But we will have spent an inordinate amount of time in the process of chasing those goals. This process shapes us. Who are you becoming in your process? We have the last 5 breaths of gratitude to do together. With every exhale, I'll say my thank you, and I invite you to say yours. Let's take a deep breath in. Thank you for this reminder in our breath that every breath can only be taken in this very moment right now. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for the reminder to be here where my breath is. Take a deep breath in. I love the reminder that makes me look at whatever processes I'm involved in. And I can see how many times in the past, whatever process I was involved in might have kept me from being present with the humans around me. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for the reminder to investigate the process I'm involved in and ask myself the question, am I happy with who I am becoming through this process? One more big breath in. Thank you, beautiful people. Thank you for floating away on this journey with us. Sometimes we come to a very shocking answer around the process we're involved in. Sometimes we realize it's turning me into something I don't want to be. And that's not always the fault of the process. Sometimes it's just the story we're telling ourselves while we're in the process. And we have to investigate that too. Is there a process that I need to change? Or is there a story I need to tell differently? Thank you, beautiful humans. Thank you, Charlene and Stefan and Sunmarie and Linda and Grania and Danae and I can't remember who else is here. Charlene, Linda, have an awesome day. Remember to be where your breath is at. That only ever happens right now. Thank you, Colette. Thank you, Anne-Marie. Have a beautiful day. See you soon. Ciao, ciao.